Hello, welcome to Taxpayer Alert. I'm Al Segalla, I'll be your moderator. And the Taxpayer Alert program is sponsored by the Calaveras County Taxpayer Association, of which I'm its president. These programs are exciting and highly informative, and this one is going to be just like the rest. Our guest is our tax collector, Barbara Sullivan. Barbara, welcome.
Hi, Al. Nice to see you again.
Well, Barbara, how'd you get in this money business?
Well, it started about 12 years ago. I started in the auditor's office when I moved up to Calaveras County. But I started in the private sector, and I thought accounting, banking was my background, and I wanted to work where I lived. So that's why I ended up coming to the county and starting, like I said, in the auditor's office, working there for about 4.5 years, moving to the tax collector, and then everything else played out after that. So here I am.
Is it true that your fingers get green when you handle a lot of money?
No, they get dirty and they get cramping. Because lately with the cannabis money, we've had quite a bit of cramping. But
what do you see? What do you look forward to, and what are some of the challenges that you've been handling?
I look forward to hopefully doing another term for the taxpayers of the county. I've enjoyed it. I've kind of progressed from the last one to take on credit and debit cards and do things that help the taxpayer, the constituents that are out there, other than helping other departments also. But I hope to continue. I've enjoyed it tremendously. I've had all new staff. That's been a little challenge there. But it's been wonderful. So we've done really well in there, and they're all hands on deck when I need them. So
well, that's good.
It's been fun.
We noticed that you've been active with the Taxpayer Association for 9 years since we started.
Yeah. It's very good.
Every barbecue, there you are.
I know. I enjoy it. I'm sorry I'm going to miss this one bringing that up. But no, it's always been great information for everybody, and I think having us, a representative of some sort of the county, really helps.
At this coming barbecue, we're going to award our excellence in public service to Ed Lark,
yes,
who's a station manager. He's a manager of Public Access TV.
Yeah.
Wonderful job.
Very fortunate to get that because he deserves it.
Now he's going to be. This program is going to be especially done well because we gave him a plug.
I love it. That's good. Yeah, he's a good guy.
So. What is the treasury? Okay, the treasury is you collect money and you put it in the bank.
Right. The treasury is basically I'm the bank for the county government offices, everywhere from special districts to our county local governments to the schools. So all their money comes through the treasury, which could be a big chunk, and we're pretty busy doing that. As far as deposits, we reconcile bank checks in the morning. We take in cash, of course, with deposits. So we take in deposits and all that. The other part of it is just, I guess, all wire transfers. Anything to do with banking is what we are the focus of. Although I'm not the initiator, the auditor has to be for the audit purpose of this whole thing. I'm the one with the banking. So my banking experience has really come in handy for that. With that money, I also have to invest it. I was given the fiduciary responsibility by the board to invest it on behalf of the county. Currently, we're sitting at $123 million. And when I say that, a lot of people's ears pipe up, and it's not the county's money. It's the entities within the Treasury pool, which include the schools, which are 60% of that. So that money is not the county's money. So they always think, oh, you have $126 million. Why aren't you paying down the debts, or why are we in trouble? It's not our money.
Now, can we get some of that money for mortgages and borrow it for buying cars or anything like that?
Well, no, we don't use it for that because there's purposes for that. And this is just everybody's bank account flows through me. And that's how I end up with the money to invest.
Where is the money invested now?
Basically, it's through a lot of different entities that we do through my financial advisor, which is Chandler Asset Management. They have a full crew that can handle this on a daily basis, which I do not have anybody in my office. But everything is within state code and by our county code for Treasury T-bills, corporate bonds. We have liquid treasury or liquid assets, like LAIF. I don't know if you've heard of Local Agency Investment Fund with the state. It's our money, not theirs. And it's through that. So we have various tools that we use to invest in.
What kind of return are you seeing on this money?
It's been bumping up, of course, slowly but steady. But we're still only at 1.2%.
Not like the old days.
No. No. I mean, I looked back to 08, 06. Those were some good days back then. 4 or 5% that we're not getting.
That's kind of curious. CalPERS is estimating 7.5%, I think. I wonder if that's dreaming or...
I'd like to know who they're investing through, because it sounds like a risk to me.
Yeah.
We would never do that.
And this is pension money. Mm-hmm. That could be pretty serious.
Yeah, it sounds long term. Our term is 5 years. We don't do anything more than 5 years.
Oh.
So they're talking, way out there for investment. 30 years probably, maybe. I don't even want to guess at that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
CalPERS is a hot topic with Rebecca.
Yes. Oh yeah, because of the unfunded liability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The process of tax collection is the assessor. On property taxes, the assessor declares what the value is, and then the taxpayer sends the bill in, and sends the...
There's more process there. It's a little more detailed than that. I like that. It starts at the assessor, like you said. Anybody has property is going to be assessed.
Right.
And then it goes to the auditor to figure out what the value is to be audited, and then what the tax rate is. It's going to be on that. So our outstanding bonds,
right.
The 1% for the county. So those type of special assessments also that go on there. Then the file is given to me to do the billing.
Okay.
So I'm the last one in the loop, and I'm the one that gets all the fun.
Yeah.
All the calls.
Yeah. Then everybody thinks that you're the bad person.
Exactly. It starts with
really
the assessor. Correct. I'm just a messenger? Yes. That's what I tell people. Go talk to Leslie.
What, on say out of 100 or so taxpayers, property taxpayers, what is the rate of delinquency? Do you have an idea?
We're very good. Over the past... since the recession, so 08, 09, it's steadily increased. It was better, but it did get probably to about 6% at that time. We're getting it back down now to 3.5 to 4.
So, okay.
It's very good. I'm collecting the money, $84 million all year. So, yeah, there's quite a big chunk out there.
It would seem that now, do you get involved with the tax sales and that sort of thing?
Well, yeah, we're the ones that put them on. So
Okay.
once a property goes 5 years in delinquencies of default taxes, then it's up for property tax sale.
It would seem if there was equity in the property above what's owed, it had been sold or something. So it's probably...
if there's money owed on it, like a lender. Let's say somebody has a mortgage. Well, either if they've defaulted on their mortgage, they've already taken over. So the lender will be paying me. It's the ones that are letting it go and just walking away that have all rights to it, usually. Or property that's really not worth anything, or financially they can't make it anymore. So it's gotten down a lot. We were at 169 parcels every year up to about a few years ago. I'm down to 30 a year now.
Wow.
Yeah, we hit the trail. Awesome. We get on the phone. We try to help. We try to tell them, go get get a loan. Go ask somebody. Just see, because we don't want them to lose their property if it's not something that they, So we try to help them. But
now, in the event that they can't, there's a plan I think they can do.
Oh, payment plan. Yes.
Yeah, and so they pay. They got to pay the current taxes, and then a portion of the taxes that they're behind. Is that correct?
Correct. About July 1st on the new tax roll,
right.
They can open a payment plan at that time if they've gone the first year in default, because we don't take it on current taxes, only on defaulted. So after they do that, then coming in December, their next bill, they have to keep current on that going forward to stay on the payment plan. If they default, because it's not really a signed contract, it's not binding, let's say. So if they default, then they just stop paying again until July, and then they can reopen it again. But all the interest they paid off will flip back onto it. So there's the catch of, it's not going away unless you stick with the plan. So we always tell people, you got 5 years to do it. So if you can do it, do it. Otherwise, try to get the money, to pay it off.
Oh, so the plan is within the 5 years.
Yeah, you have 5 years from the date of default.
Okay, so you can't go beyond the 5 years with a plan.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it has to. By that time, it has to be paid in full. Right. So if they stay on it, and it's 1/5 every year, is what that 5 years would be, of course.
Yeah.
So if they stay on it and they keep everything current, they're done. The only problem is with the Revenue Taxation Code, it's 18% on that outstanding money.
Oh,
so we try to tell people, we don't want you to pay that.
It's going in a hole.
Yeah. So that's why we're trying to help people, just to give them guidance,
Yeah. So the property that has lenders involved, the lenders if there's any equity, the lenders will probably
Yes.
pay taxes.
Yes, I've
after-
rarely seen anybody not do it. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, like on bare land, where you don't have a lender, then so what are your most of your tax sales? Is it homes or land or what?
I want to say it's sometimes half and half. It's been strange over the last years. At one time, we had timeshares because people were deeded the timeshare in the Worldmark Corporation.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a mess because when property values dropped on those, then we were sitting with all these that had value. So now they're going delinquent. And these people didn't want to pay taxes. So we had probably about 45 of those at one time.
Did anybody bid on them?
But it took a while to stimulate it because we were going after the first year. You always have to put a tax sale item for the amount the taxes are.
Right.
First year, you got to go for it. So whatever that is, they're not going to pay it usually. So then the second year, we dropped them down to 50. I went, let's do $50, and I sold probably half of them.
Oh,
it
really?
took till I dropped them to $1 did I get $100 out of them because it went down to $1. So we did get rid of them finally. So now there's all low value. There's no bills to be generated. It's good.
Now, when they buy the timeshare, they have to pay maintenance fees. Is that correct?
Right. That's what the facility. And we always put that as a note in the file for that tax sale, to contact them to find out what that is.
That's interesting.
I know. There's little things like that. Yeah.
Now, you're also involved with business licenses.
Mm-hmm.
And does everybody have to have a business license that's in business?
Yes. Anybody working in Calaveras County or living in Calaveras and doing business has to have a business license.
Okay.
And that's with us, if it's unincorporated area. If it's Angels Camp, then it's through the City Hall.
I see.
Yeah.
And what do you charge for that?
It's $76 a year and $26 to renew.
Okay.
And it's pretty minor. It's regulatory is all it is. So.
Now, so the person has a business license. Can they lose their business license if they do something wrong, like commit fraud? Or?
Correct. If there is fraud related to that application that they put in, then yes, it could be pulled.
But if they did a fraud against a customer, could they lose their business license?
No. That's the problem that we're having, and I'm going to have to redo the business license code. Funny you brought that up, because even though the sheriff will sign off on certain ones like taxi drivers, tattoo parlors, they're doing it for their background to know that that person's there.
Right.
But he can't stop my license process, and that doesn't make sense, when you think about it. That why is he involved other than informational, let him know that these people exist, that there could be people from outside coming in, per se. So, but yes, that one's a little different. So I have the final say in all business license.
So what is the purpose of a business license?
Regulatory, for zoning. It starts with zoning. So the assessor is the first one that looks at the property, says where it's at, even if you're mobile. She needs to know where your office is at, we'll say. Then you go over to building and planning, and they look at your zoning for if you're going to be a parts guy versus a yard guy. There's different parameters that require. So if it's just out of your house going to other people's homes, they'll sign off on it. Environmental health needs to know if there's a gas station. So there's different people that need to know that you're out there doing business, and that's part of the business license process.
I see.
Yeah.
I understand that you have a pretty good relationship with our auditor and also our CAO.
Yes.
You have weekly meetings to discuss the things out of...
Well, the auditor and I work closely together because a lot of our every day our offices have to deal with each other. So we're kind of up on everything that way. The assessors, not so much because everything, like I said, starts with her. So it's rolling by the time it comes to me.
Right.
But the CAO, he's so new, and we've gotten together a few times. We have monthly meetings with them. So it's even though we're different departments, we definitely have emails. I mean, thank God for emails. I don't know what we do without that. That's like instant, So we're in touch with each other a lot.
I need to learn how to text.
I don't know.
Everybody's texting, and I like emails.
Spell check. Be careful. That's the hard part.
On texting?
Yeah, because it'll correct it for words you don't want.
Gee. It seemed for a while when we were in a little bit of a recession, the property values went down, and the assessor is required to adjust the rolls to the new values, which means that less money is going in the county because the values of the property are lower. And some of the supervisors got mad at Leslie Davis, our our assessor thinking that she's doing this to hurt something, but if she didn't do it, she'd be breaking the law.
Right.
So she was following the law.
Right. It's hard to see that revenue go away, I
Yeah.
think is what the problem was.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It happened everywhere.
Yeah.
The only thing we have against, like the Bay Area, is where we're located. We're a
Yeah.
bedroom community. We're rural. There's a lot of different facets pushing them up to the Silicon Valley, let's say, versus us. So it's taken us some time, but now we're getting up to where we may have been, back then. The values are coming up now. But she had to do what she had to do.
The interest rates are very low on mortgages now.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's pretty easy to buy a home or get equity out of a home.
Oh, yeah. Well, the standards they've put in place, too. No more 20% equity only in your home. It's 40 to 50, I mean, there's a lot of different parameters.
That's a mixed blessing because that caused the real estate crash because there were so many loans. They had no equity in it. They were
Nobody
not really
was checking.
qualified.
They were just signing off on them.
Yeah, and one little hiccup, and the next thing you're in foreclosure.
Yeah. We talked about a lot at my conference the year before. When's the bubble going to burst? That's all you kept hearing about. And they kept showing it. And nobody wanted to address the elephant in the room because it wasn't us. It was, how do you go to that? So anyway, it happened, and here we are. It's already 10 years almost later.
Yeah, but they're starting to do it again. The same thing.
Getting relaxed.
No
They're
money
getting
down.
relaxed. And yeah, that's the problem.
And I only wish I belong to a trade association, the National Association of Realtors, and state and local. And I only wish we'd just ratchet up our wisdom just a little bit.
I know.
And quit pushing no money down.
I know.
Because we're become part of the problem.
Well, sure.
But we should be part of the solution.
Sure. Yeah.
And,
it's obvious that.
And it's not just our profession. There's other professions too that need to go to a little higher level of responsibility, accountability. And so many problems can be avoided if that would happen. So you're going to run for office again? Yes,
I feel like I'm still being able to change things and add new things. So I want to keep going.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you have in your plans, your secret plans of improvements?
I don't know. Every year I have one. Fire happens.
Those your plans.
Yeah. So the staffing was the thing. I got back up to staffing is what the main thing is. You have to have that. And I think services were really hurting from that. We weren't able, to cut down on opening our hours and everything because we're 24/7 at being the bank of the county. But I just feel that now that we have that level and we have the knowledge now we're building, we're going to be really strong. So I'm hoping to have that by the time I do retire eventually.
How did this recession affect your staff?
Well, the bottom line was the money, the revenue not coming in. So all departments were straight across the board the way they used to do before this last year. Everybody had to take 7%, 10%, 13%. Well, my little office...
The 10% cut?
Yeah, well, depending, off your general fund contribution. So basically, my department gets $100,000 from general fund. That's it. So cutting that even is cutting a person when you think about, So even though they don't get, the salaries are low, but still it's a big cut to my department.
Yeah.
So I think now we finally got up to a pace where salaries are going to have to be covered, and they are starting to do that, so that the other items can be looked at and checked. As far as services, professional fees, like the bank. I'm always on the bank for the charges. Right. So that's always a challenge, but you have to be on that, It's just like I do my personal, I take care of my work stuff, I want to save money for everybody. So.
Now, if you're able to make more money on investments, then how does that affect your department?
That doesn't affect them at all. No, it's all what's happening day to day. That's the stuff that does. Just like the cannabis, I'm not getting any more revenue, but I'm putting out a lot more workload for that. So
no, it's hard to keep track of this cannabis thing. There's so many ways that's going, and they talk about. I understand we have passed a measure, Measure B, and that allows for this to be taxed.
Measure C.
Measure C, that allows it to be taxed.
Correct.
Okay, and then is that happening?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. The bills went out May, due June 5th, delinquent July 15th. So they're just now done. And it was $8.5 million that we billed out. and we received 80% of that.
That's awesome.
So we're at $6.7 million in collections.
So the other 20%, the sheriff's chasing them?
No, I think, well, we had one come in today to pay. So they are paying. Some are, I don't know if they're going to be leaving us, or they're waiting for something. They may be paying with the 10%. We do have people who pay late. So I don't know the status of those. Another 30 days, we'll find more out about who's really going to be staying on in those arrears or in the delinquency.
Now, they're taxed in two ways. One, they pay $5,000 to get a permit, and then they pay a percentage of their sales. Is that how that works?
The way the tax rate is set up in Measure C?
Yeah.
Basically, it's on the canopy, so the commercial grow, and outdoor is $2, indoor is $5, and a mixed is $2. So it's based on the canopy size. So when they registered last year, by September, whatever they put down is what they were taxed on.
I see.
Because it's going into the new year before anything was put in place, but we had the tax in place already.
Right.
So it's based on 2017. So that's that. And then on the dispensaries, it's 7% on their gross receipts for cannabis.
Okay.
And that's it. Until the actual state gets something going, and if we keep the urgency ordinance, then we'll know more about how we're going to put that into place as far as by pound, that type of stuff.
There's been some discussion about this being a land use, and if it's a land use, it seemed like the planning department has zoning for land uses.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems to make sense that we need to zone those properties where the neighbors won't be hurt for this particular use, or indoor, outdoor, or however you do it.
Right.
And you won't need all this other stuff going on. Does that make sense?
Yes. I mean, it makes sense. There's so more things involved in there, though. So that's why the ordinance really needs to be in place, or they're going to ban it. So I'm not sure which way they're going. I still don't know.
Well, if they ban it, then you have all these people that paid this money. They're going to want the money returned. Would that make sense?
Which part? The tax? Tax money they can't get back.
They can't get tax money back?
No.
They can only their fee that they paid?
For this year.
Okay.
See, it's basically a rolling forward. So whatever happens going forward. So if it stops in October, then anything up to that point is where it would stop at. So the bills could be even prorated through October.
Okay, so each year they need to pay another $5,000?
That's the permitting process. I'm not sure how that works. That's zoning, like I said, Peter's saying. So I think the application has to be filed every year and kept to the requirements of it. So I think that is correct, but I don't know that part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just know the tax part of it, doing the tax bill.
But it's a lot of, awful lot of money coming to the county. There was an economic study done by, I think it was the University of Pacific, about the effects on our economy, projecting information that they got from the Cannabis Alliance, I think we call it. And it turned out to be a large percentage of our economy was cannabis.
Oh, yeah. The figures are just staggering,
Wow.
So, yeah. It's so new. It's every month is a new process, We're developing this as we go, so. And we're trying to do it the best way we can. So
it's kind of a mystery. I don't smoke that stuff.
Exactly.
But there's a new study on mice. They found that young mice lose a little bit of their mental capacity, and the old mice gain it. They become less senile.
Oh no, I didn't hear that one.
So I've been thinking, well, maybe. Now the federal government has taken out a patent on medical marijuana.
Oh.
And so
even though they still classify it as a class 1 drug.
Another branch of the federal government
that's trying to get in on it.
Said it has no medical basis. And another part of the federal government says we're going to patent it.
See,
so,
I never know.
It's like almost like living in a insane asylum.
Which door are you going to go out of? Which one are you going to? I'll take. Don't know. Every day's new. And that keeps me excited about my job because you never know.
Yeah,
you never know what's going to come down.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
Well, it seemed like of all the things that government does, the most straightforward thing is your job because it's numbers. They have to add up.
Yep.
you can't go take the money and go to Mexico or any place. You got to put it in the bank.
Yeah. Even though people make their checks payable to me. And that always, I have to scratch my head sometimes. But it's all because I'm the treasurer. So you make it to me. But you don't have to. You can make it to the tax collector. I always tell people. So.
Now, you mentioned, let's see, we have the transit occupancy tax, TOT tax.
TOT,
Okay. I understand this is for people that would rent their for motels and things, but also people that rent their home for less than 30 days. And I understand there was quite a bit of discussion and a new law passed in the Lake Tulloch area for people getting a permit for short-term rentals and going through the planning department and having kind of like a hearings on whether they can. Now, I'm just curious, how is the TOT tax going? Is it?
It's definitely increasing.
It's increasing.
Increasing because that's a new revenue source for some people. And we just signed on with Airbnb. I got on with them. I had to have admin do it because even though I'm the tax collector, I don't oversee this stuff. I collect it, like you said.
Right.
But I pushed it to where when Tim got here, he was able to sign it. We were able to get a collection agreement with them. So now anybody filing their home or place with Airbnb, they'll collect it for them and then send it on their behalf, which helps out a lot and it keeps them in compliance, of everything. So I believe that's going to start showing more and more because we're up. But somebody said the Butte Fire helped that too, because they were coming into lodge while they were working out here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that stimulated it, but we never did drop. We always kept the steady pace that we're going up now. Since I've been here, it's gone up almost 200,000 more than it was. So.
Well, that's quite a bit.
Yeah. So yay. Yay, county.
You got a heck of a vacation with that.
That's hard. I'm for the constituents and I'm for the county. It's kind of a tough one because I'm a taxpayer too. So.
Well, we, our Taxpayer Association believes that taxes are needed for some things, and
services.
The main thing is to try to get our money's worth if we can.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And if we can do that, we're doing okay. You mentioned that looking ahead, we're about through with our time now. What is the most important thing you see coming ahead?
Gosh, I work so much in the now. I've been overwhelmed with everything that, like I said, the cannabis has just overtaken me.
Yeah.
But what I look forward to is getting those figures down and helping people get a way that they can, source their taxes or get it paid, like the senior postponement program through the state. There's other programs that possibly will be revitalized and coming around. So I'm always looking for things that'll help the taxpayer.
Thank you for being our guest.
Thank you so much.
You're wonderful.
Thanks.
And thank you for watching Taxpayer Alert.